Oscar de la Renta once said, "Luxury to me is not about buying expensive things. It's about living in a way where you appreciate things." Hello, everyone, and welcome to The New Norm, Season 2 of MyCast's official podcast. I am Nitpreet.
And I am Piyush. Our guest for today is a professor in integrated marketing communications and the co chairperson of the Fellow Program in Management at MICA. She has over 17 plus years of experience in teaching and research and has authored over 100 plus publications in international, national, and trade journals. Her research specialties lie in digital marketing, luxury branding, and digital natives. Welcome, Varsha ma'am. It's a pleasure to have you as a guest speaker.
Thank you so much, Piyush. It's always a pleasure to connect with the larger community, and thank you so much for your kind words.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. It's a pleasure.
So, ma'am, how has this new normal been treating you?
Yeah, so Nitpreet, the new normal, I would say, has provided us a lot of opportunities in terms of reflecting, reviewing, and what we were doing earlier. It is more of introspection that we have done during this time because we were just having a very fast paced life. And with that, there was no time to reflect on what we were doing. So I think this is the time where we have reflected on our own task. We have enhanced our creativity and we have synthesized our thought processes.
Yes, and there was so much about the luxury sector in the newspapers, automobiles, the industry not doing well at all. So I just had to have this session of luxury with you. So the first question that I have for you is that what, according to you, is going to be the new normal for the luxury segment? I was also reading this report by Boston Consulting Group, which mentioned that sales in the luxury and fashion industry have or are expected to drop by around 30%. So, how can brands mitigate this threat in the new normal?
Sure. I think this is a great question, and everybody is in sort of a dilemma that, given what we have now in terms of the business scenario, it's kind of difficult for luxury brands. But I would like to share my thoughts with certain examples and what's happening in the industry that will actually help all of us to understand what's happening with the luxury space. So my first point is that this particular stage of luxury is not a long-term process. It's a very short-term process, and it is going to rebound very quickly, especially in Asia Pacific markets. And this is going to happen because and I keep saying this, luxury is always a journey. It's not a ultimate goal. So you need to have your short term goals and the long term goals. So if I look at the long term impact of luxury brands, it is going to stay. It is that just the short term which has created some dilemma. And here are the supporting evidence from it. For example, if I talk about the luxury brands in the product categories like health, beauty care, eye care, these all segments will have a very high growth, given that we are talking about the health, wellness, and well-being. So that areas are going to do very well. The products that have not worked very well and that has badly affected are, of course, the automobiles, as you have mentioned, hotels, and other categories. But in the long run, what is going to be very important for the consumers as well as for the brands is the experience. Now, when I say experience, people always say that, experience is always within the store or within a hotel and all that. But I have a very different view over here, which is that you can always integrate the experience with the digital channels and provide them a virtual tour and create that experience through the digital channels. So that is something which is going to revive the entire luxury brands, and there will be very fast recovery, especially in the personal care category. And the people, if I have to talk about the people, first P was about the product, second was about the people who are going to help this segment and the industry will be the middle class and the millennials, because that is where the new age consumers are going to develop, and they will revive the brands very quickly. And the third point is, if I have to talk about the countries, then the countries which have not significantly affected in terms of luxury is of course Mexico, Brazil, Japan, and Australia. And the countries that of course have affected drastically from the luxury brands and the industry is Switzerland, US, Canada, and Germany. But the interesting part is the markets which are going to rebound the luxury will be Asia Pacific markets. And especially those markets are going to increase the global sales. And there will be a lot of revamping in terms of the approaches and growth as well. So I think I'm very optimistic about the luxury, which is going to revive in the future, in the new normal, as you said. And I will quickly just synthesize my thoughts while saying that this can happen very quickly while using 3R. So what are the 3Rs? 3Rs are basically review, reflect, and reinvent. That is something which is going to help luxury to revive quickly in the longer term.
Yeah, ma'am, definitely. And even these 3 hours will help us to remember how to look ahead for the luxury market segment. So you also said that luxury is looked at as a journey and more of an experience.
Yes.
And for the consumers, it is also about the in-store experience as well. And
Mhm.
due to COVID, many brands across the globe have shut down their stores and adopted online strategies to continue with their sales. So, how, according to you, can brands leverage this entire experience? Will we see that phygital will be the new normal even after the normalcy returns?
Sure. So that's again a great question, because a lot of brands are going to be digital given the new normal. So in luxury segment, it will be more of the e-commerce and the omni-channel. So e-commerce growth, if I have to cite the figures, it would be around 694% growth, which is completely mind-boggling for the e-commerce
Yes, ma'am.
segment, for the luxury segment. This is the kind of growth which the luxury brands will have. And I still remember, and I'm going back and reflecting to my luxury branding sessions in the classes that I've done with you all at Mica. And people used to come and ask me that, well, there is a paradox how luxury and digital can go together, because digital is more for masses and luxury is exclusive. So now, given the new normal, I'm just comparing the earlier scenario with the present scenario. And given the new normal, I think I see digital goes very well with luxury, because you can always provide exclusive, personalized experience to the consumers. And that can be done very easily through AI and ML, because you are tracking the behavior of an individual and basis that you are providing the relevant content. So this will be seen very much in the retail segment and e-commerce. And there we always say that it will be a robotic retail, which I always coin and always mention that it will be an HD effect. Now, what is an HD effect? It is the human digital effect that you're going to make through luxury brands on the consumers. And I'll explain it further. It means that if you want to use only digital gadgets and the channels for the luxury brands, then it does not work, because consumers have to be connected specifically for the luxury brands through the human interventions. So human interventions are to be spotted. It has to be created to enhance that omni channel kind of a scenario. So I think what, and that's what the 3R framework will help. It has to be reinvent. So we have everything in place. It's like all the ingredients are in place. We just have to develop a new recipe for the new normal for the luxury brands. So that is something which is very important when you talk about the omni channel process. So that is my complete view over the robotic retailing, and what is going to happen with the luxury brands in terms of e-commerce. And I'll cite one example here. Like Burberry, they have actually started this omni-channel process, and there are a lot of studios which they have started in the US and the UK, where this entire digital experience has been provided, and that is how the new normal would be, that you provide the digital experience with the human intervention that works very well with the luxury brands.
So, ma'am, when we are talking about the new normal for luxury in the digital space, there are two things that come to my mind. One is the presence of a second-hand market, and
Mhm.
second is more affordable options by big names in the luxury sector. So, I need to ask you about both of these things. That will we see a spike in the second-hand market when it comes to the luxury sector? And also, is there a chance that more and more luxury brands will come up with comparatively affordable options?
So I think this is again a great view, because again I remember and I'm discussing about the past because we can relate it what's happening and what can happen now, because we used to have a lot of discussion about counterfeit products and how they can be dealt, and the second hand market and the renting part. So now, earlier it was seen as a challenge, but now given the new normal, I think that's an opportunity for a lot of brands, because before this particular podcast I was just going through one of the research that we recently worked upon, and what we found was primarily in the automobile sector, renting is going to be the new normal. So that is something which will make a lot of luxury brands more affordable, and aspiration value can always be enhanced by that particular option. So I agree that it will become more affordable. And simultaneously, I would like to add a very important point in luxury, which is sustainability. So, along with that, all the brands, we used to talk a lot about brand purpose. But now in the luxury segment, any consumer, when they have to buy the luxury, it is not only about the quality of the product or the value, it is about how. So the three things are have changed completely in terms of the new normal. And those three things are that if you're going to consume a product, how it is going to affect me as an individual. One, second, how it is going to affect the community that is around me, and the fourth is and the third is society. So when I say these three layers, that means it is very concrete for the luxury brands, because how people are going to decide about their purchases and how they are going to think about the rented product. There also people are going to think about all these three layers, that how sustainable is your brand. So along with the renting and affordability, the major area where the luxury is going to work is also about the sustainability and the brand purpose. So that is
Yes.
something which I thought I'll just share it with you, because this is going to change the entire industry.
Yes, we have also seen that recently a lot of brands have started switching to sustainability and have like, started showcasing them as pioneers of sustainability.
Mhm.
Another question that I had was that these brands are now seeing that there's a new void of Instagrammable moments, especially
Mhm.
for Gen Z and the millennials, because for these people having something luxurious also meant as an extension of their personal selves. So, what do you think? How will brands come up with ideas to fill this newly created void?
Correct. So I think this is a great insight again, because Instagrammable moments are actually very important for luxury brands, and I think most of the fashion brands, all of the brands, they use Instagram more than any other platform. So basically, there when I connect it with the expression of self, again it goes back to another research that we have worked on, which is about people express their narratives around the brands which they use, which they consume. So that is also a new normal, which is that I present the background as an individual through the brand consumption, which means that if you own a Merc, then actually with your pictures, illustrations, your post which you do, the video that you're going to make, is actually expressing an individual about his consumption, about what his lifestyle is. And that is how the brand is actually becoming a partner in the life of a consumer. So that is something which is quite innovative. And I keep saying this to all the stakeholders, which include students, industry, and all the scholars, which is that this particular platform, which is Instagram, is always co-created. And primarily, if I have to discuss with the luxury brands, then it has to be co-created with the help of the consumers and the brands. And when the co-creation has been created, I think it makes more sense, and it is a win-win situation for the people as well as for the brands, because brands are imbibing themselves with the lifestyle of the consumer. So they are not doing the talking. Actually, the spokespersons are their own consumers. And in terms of luxury, it is very important because there are brand advocates, which we have seen in Harley as well, because they have the hog, and the entire relationship is all about how do you associate with the brand. So I think Instagram experience is very important, and most of the brands are doing it while involving the consumers with that experience. So I think the more you involve, the better you would be. And Instagram is very important because it provides an entire visual appeal to the brand, as well as it showcase how the brand has been used by the consumers at different levels. And the other point which is very important here is that it's also making them happy, because given this new normal, it's very important for any brand to shoot up the confidence level of the consumers, and tell them. And I'm sure a lot of brands, like I was going through Gucci and Louis Vuitton and all that. So they are boosting the confidence of the consumers, which is great given the present scenario. And they're making them happy with all these innovations which they are doing. They're making it very private, messages, which I was talking earlier, by knowing about them, by treating them as their friend, as a partner, and then inviting them to co-create something along with the brand. So I think that is something which is going to be very important. So here, I would also like to mention the last point, which is the human connect with the brand, which is the brand has to have the empathy, and that is reflected again in the co-creation of the videos and the movements which they create on Instagram.
So one very interesting thing you mentioned while you were giving this answer, you mentioned something about brand advocates, which takes me to the ongoing debate. We know that almost every luxury brand has hopped onto the wagon of, purpose, becoming purposeful. Many brands have chosen the path of becoming purposeful by switching to the need of the hour. So, making
Mhm.
designer masks and protective clothing. So, all of this has become a very regular thing for luxury brands. At the same time, there are designers and brands who believe that people should not take advantage of this situation by adding their labels in a pandemic. So, what do you think? What's your take on this?
Correct. So that this is a very interesting, again, the perspective that you have shared. I think over here, as I have mentioned earlier, also the brands are not taking advantage, I would say, but the brands, and especially the luxury brands, they are trying to help the community. They are trying to help the consumers by designing new kind of a fabric which can help them. So that is something to do with the human connect, which is very important to find out in a consumer, which most of the luxury brands, if I can cite, like Prada has done that, Estee Lauder is doing it, Chanel is doing it. All of them, they are actually working in different space to help the consumers. And they are also, most of the brands, they're working on the fashion brands, they're working on the fabric, as you correctly pointed out, just to help the consumers. So I think it is more to do with the empathy and not leveraging the opportunity or taking an advantage of a situation. So I think it is more to do with the transforming the brands basis the agile scenario which is there, and building the brand. So the 3 R's are very important in the luxury, which I started off: rethink, reinvent, and then revive everything so that it goes well with what is required by a consumer. Because ultimately it is the stakeholder, it's always the inclusive approach of luxury which stays with the products. Because ultimately it is not the mass brands. So if you have to be the elite brand, you need to understand your own people who are part of your community.
I think all our listeners are also going to be very happy with the way you cleared all our doubts regarding the luxury sector, ma'am. I have had the chance of having a personal talk also with you in the campus, and it was a wonderful experience then, and it's a wonderful experience now having virtual conversations about luxury. And I always look forward to such talks.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nitpreet. I also want to add one important area, I think, which I might have forgotten, which is the luxury wellness. So that is something which is going to enhance completely in the new normal, which is about the fitness and the personal accessories which people are going to use in the future. Reason being, now luxury comes home, right? You don't go to luxury, as you were mentioning, even about the retail. We used to go and have the store experience, and all of that will not be there. That means, for example, Marriott has also started doing it, and a lot of other brands have started doing it, where the luxury is coming home, and through digital channels, you are experiencing that while you are at home. So the fitness will be at the peak, and the wellness will be at the peak in terms of the luxury sector. I thought I'll just mention that.
Yes, it's a very important and a very valid point, especially at the times when everyone is so concerned about their health and well being. Luxury wellness claiming the stake is a very important point. Thank you so much, ma'am, for mentioning that. So now we will proceed to a much more fun segment, a fun part, where we are going to ask you some questions and you have to answer to them. And whatever comes to your mind first, just answer to this because it's a rapid fire quiz. Are we good to go, ma'am?
Yes.
So your favorite luxury brand?
Louis Vuitton.
Okay.
Okay,
A luxury brand that does the best marketing campaigns.
Louis Vuitton.
okay. A luxury brand that stood out in the pandemic phase?
Prada.
Sustainability or affordability, which is your pick?
Sustainability.
Okay. Micron spot that feels luxurious to you?
What on campus?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay. Mm, Audi.
Okay.
Experiences or an expensive purchase, what will you choose?
Experience.
Okay. And three ways in which the mindset of consumers have shaped in the pandemic towards luxury sector.
Okay, so the first one is they have become more creative, because now they have started analyzing what they are supposed to do. Second is they have become very mindful about their purchase, because they have to manage their finances. So they are very mindful even about the luxury brands, and they look for value in it. And third is, as I have told you earlier, there are the three layers under which the consumption is happening now, and the consumers look into it. One is that how this product is going to help me at an individual level. Second, how it is going to help that at a community level. And third, at a societal level, which was not considered at all earlier by the consumers.
Okay. And the final question for you is, so for people who want to work in the luxury segment, so what do you think are the three key points that they have to keep in mind when dealing with luxury brand?
So while they're dealing with the luxury brands, given in the new normal, as we are discussing, they have to connect with 3 R's, which I initially started off. They have to reinvent, revive, and rebound the luxury segment. They have to rebuild it for the millennials, and they have to work with the HD effect, which is the human digital connect, which they have to work with in terms of experience, in terms of sustainability, in terms of brand purpose. So if they work on these frameworks, and I have simplified it, though it is not so simple, but I've simplified it. And if they work on it, I think that brand will simply rock along with the consumers. It has to be very inclusive.
Okay, so that was it, ma'am. And your answers were amazing, just as amazing
Thank
as you
you so
are.
much.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, we
it was
enjoyed it too.
fun, by the way, guys. Thank you so much for doing this.
And we hope you enjoyed the session, and we hope
Oh,
that
I
the questions were
really
also
loved
on
it.
point.
It's our
Sure.
pleasure too.
Thank you so much. It's pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank you
yeah,
so
thank
much,
you, ma'am.
Varsha ma'am. It was
Bye, guys.
wonderful.
Take care.
Yeah, thanks a lot, ma'am, for all the valuable stuff that you shared with us. So, guys, that was it from our side. You can follow Mycast, the Mycon podcast on Instagram, and you can stream us on Geo7, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts as well. So, keep sharing, and yes, stay safe. Thank you.